Thank you to ST Property for allowing this little airtime. You know, being the main sponsor, we have that little privilege. And I'm here actually to present to you the developer by the name of United Malayan Land Berhad. And United Malayan Land Berhad was actually formed sometime back in 1995 by three major shareholders, and they are Chitat Plantations, which is Singapore-based, and we have Trade Winds. At that time, it was called Pernas International, and subsequently we have Capital Land Singapore. So we are actually a conglomerate. So you can notice that our symbol was a triangle consisting of three colors representing the three major shareholders. Capital Land recently sold off their shares in us, and subsequently we are taken over by the remaining two shareholders. That is Trade Winds, as well as the Chitat Group. And we are basically developers in townships earlier, but subsequently we moved into niche properties and high-rise properties, being the first one, Seri Bukit Salon, which is actually in Kuala Lumpur itself. And Bukit Salon was subsequently operated as the first Somerset Bukit Salon in Kuala Lumpur. Of course, they have ceased their operations, and we have moved the Somerset to Puteri Harbour. So now we have another project called Somerset Puteri Harbour. And we were basically developers in townships in Johor. As a matter of fact, Land is about 90% based in Singapore, in Johor Bahru, because most of our land banks actually is Johor, and especially Johor Bahru. And one of the major townships that you would like to know is actually Bandar Seri Alam. This township has been developed since the 1990s, and we are actually almost two-thirds completed. We still have another 800 acres more to go. Bandar Seri Alam is located in Pasir Gudang site, where the current Pasir Gudang port, as well as the oil and gas hub, is going to be located. And this has actually generated a lot of activities back on the other eastern side of Iskandar, Malaysia. We have another township called Bandar Seri Austin, which is actually located in the Terbau corridor. And this township is practically almost 85% completed. We have won a lot of awards on this. We have also two major developments in Johor now. One is called Suasana Iskandar, which was recently launched along Jalan Wong Afuk, which is directly opposite the Komta and the City Square. This indeed is one of our major developments now, because we have very strong confidence in the success of this due to its proximity to the transportation hub that is called JB Central. And you will be aware that the RTS, which is connected to the Singapore MRT, eventually will end up in JB Central. And within 5 minutes walk along the elevated, the links, overhead covered links, you will be able to reach from this building, Suasana Iskandar, to the JB Central within 5 minutes. And you walk along all the shopping malls of City Square and Komta. We have completed recently and handed over Suasana Bukit Salon, which is located in Kuala Lumpur itself. This is also one of service apartments, which was sold privately to a lot of purchasers, and subsequently we are now helping them to manage, as well as also to maintain with housekeeping and so on. Lately, we have actually launched another project, which we call it the UMCity Medini. We are going to talk more about this project, because this is our current hotspots that we are promoting. All right. Now let's look at Medini. Now, we all are aware that Iskandar, Malaysia is actually currently one of the hottest spot, hottest spot in the Malaysian property market now. Reason is because of a lot of factors. Now, we owe a lot of credit to Singapore and the Singapore government's confidence in Johor Bahru now. Earlier days, you'll find that Johor was actually in the doldrums. There wasn't much activity, and a lot of people shy away from investing in property in Johor Bahru. But ever since the completion of the EDL, the Eastern Dispersal Link, which actually sets in a lot of infrastructure, and this was actually supported and financed by Khazanah Nasional itself. And this has actually triggered an interest in the Singapore entities like Temasek and also CapitaLand. And they have taken very big positions in Johor Bahru, expecting to develop in Medini and also in the Dangah Bay. Now, because of this confidence, I think, and the relationship between Malaysia and Singapore, we have actually now seen a growing interest of Singaporeans now looking at the Malaysian market, especially Iskandar, Johor. Now, let's look at the capital city of Johor, which is Johor Bahru. Now, the loop itself of the Eastern Dispersal Link has now actually created a circuit of highways connecting between the eastern part of Pasir Gudang and continuing towards the Tanjung Pelepas area, crossing over the second link, and going into Singapore along your PIE, go to Changi, and hopefully the other connection will happen with the third link. So once that happens, then this whole area is eventually going to be the growth and the economic zones of this region between Singapore and Malaysia. Now, UMCity is located in a place called Medini. Now, Medini was actually created when the Arab investors came in back in the early 1990s and 2000s. And subsequently, of course, they left. Khazanah took over. And when the infrastructure starts to happen, they decided that this place shall be an economic zone with a lot of incentives. And these incentives have actually attracted a lot of interest, even from industries, from officers, from back of house, to think about relocating and to tap on the economic incentive that will be provided. We are going to go through some of these items later. Now, you will know that there is one very famous theme park now called Legoland. I think how many of you have been to Legoland? Of course, with your children. And there you have also indoor theme parks, like, for example, Hello Kitty, Lats. And the latest that we are going to add in is probably another one more, what you call a 4D experience theme park, which will be announced very soon. And this will be in one of our development called The Waves. And that is directly opposite the Traders Hotel and Hello Kitty. So we are creating all the indoor theme parks within a particular area, and the Legoland is an outdoor, and thus this become a playground. And you find that along the itinerary of a lot of tourists coming into Singapore, when they come in, they would eventually want to visit Universal Studio, and they will extend their stay into Johor and visit Legoland and Hello Kitty, and plus our next theme park. We don't name it out now, all right? Now, UMCity is actually located at the gateway of Medini and directly opposite. So if you stay in one of the towers, you watch Legoland every day. So you don't have to be there. You just have to look out your window and you see the enjoyment and the fun. And directly opposite is where you have some of the water bodies and the lake. And UMCity is actually poised to be actually a sort of a stopover for many of the tourists that comes into Johor Bahru and Iskandar. They will be thinking of staying in this area. So we are now creating a few towers, which will eventually be service apartments, hotels, and branded residences. Now, around Medini itself, you have places called EduCity. Now, EduCity, as you know, we have the famous Marlborough College. When Marlborough College was launched about 3 years ago, they expected a population to be built for 400 students within only a period of probably about 6 to 7 years. But within 3 years of their launching, they already reached their 400 and another 200 on the waiting list. Who are the people studying in Marlborough College? Maybe Malaysians, but most of them are actually from this across the causeway and across the straits. And they are really locating there, house their children there, house their family there, while they work in Singapore. So there's this concept now of staying over in Iskandar and actually coming over to Singapore to work, provided the traffic and the causeway is a little bit more relaxed. We also have the Pinewood Studios. I think the Pinewood Studios has already started production, and I think the current production is called Marco Polo, a very long series. Now it's being produced there, And Traders Hotel is 100% occupied by all these expatriates that comes in and join in the production line. And that's only one production. Pinewood Studios can have 5 productions simultaneously, anytime. And with that, the amount of rentals that is going to take place and the amount of residents that is going to be there. Now, not only do they stay, they also need entertainment. They need shopping, and they need what you call activities to be there. Now, we also have Putri Harbour and Kota Iskandar located within the location. You will find that that place now is connected not only by the link in the second link, which when the new coastal highway completed, there will be 5 minutes from Medini to Tuas CIQ. And that will cut short a lot of time, and Tuas is always an easier way to cross. Right? And of course, you have Horizon Hill, and subsequently Legoland. So these are the attractions that we are now currently enjoying in that place. And the Medini advantage is that you have no sales restriction on foreign ownership, which means to say it is this place where you don't have the 20%, 40% foreign quota to be sold. You can sell to foreigners at any one time. And you also have no 1 million ringgit ceiling or threshold. You can buy, even if it's 500,000, you can buy even if it's 400,000, provided you have property of that price. And you have no RPGT, which means you can buy and sell. Now, RPGT in Malaysia now is at 30%. And this place, anytime you sell after your 3 years, after your 4 years, you don't have to pay any RPGT. Now, corporate tax, again, as for the next 10 years, if you locate your office and operate from that office to any part of the world, you don't have to pay any corporate tax for a period of 10 years. This is a pioneer status and a tax in what you call exemptions. And for expatriates and for staff and talents that works in Medini, your income tax bracket is within 15%, all right? And you can purchase a duty-free car to use at any one time. Now, these are special incentives which has drawn a lot of interest. Frost & Sullivan has already started, and at the moment now, there is a dearth and a shortage of shops and offices in Medini and in Nusa Jaya itself. So this is the what you call the product that we are going to introduce you also today. We are launching our products, which is actually office space, both in one, Hotel Resi 2. And we are actually talking to a very famous operator who will actually and brand it. If you buy it there, you actually can be sort of inviting us to manage it for you. And we operate the service apartments, and we also operate the hotel. Hotel is also in the current, at the moment now talking to the Amari Group to create one more brand called the Ozo brand. Okay? If you go to Penang now, there will be another Ozo coming up there. If you go to Hong Kong, there's an Ozo in Hong Kong. But this is a businessman hotel and a touristy hotel. And of course, you have your office tower, which is at the back. Now, you have both hotels, office, retail, Hotel Resi, and Hotel Resi 2. And all these are actually located around a water body, which comprises of a 13-acre lake. And this water body will have some, auditorium and amphitheaters where cultural activities and the cultural centers will be set up. You can both have your residence as well as also your cultural activities and shopping activities. Now, situated in Medini, we are actually a 30 acres site, right? And this 30-acre site is home to 2 public parks. One will be the 13-acre lakeside park, which you can run, you can have jogging tracks, you can have very nice walk, and all properly landscaped by a famous architect firm called Acom Architects. And also, we will have an 8-acre linear park, which is located on the Viridia Residences, which is the phase 2 of Medini Lakeside. Medini Lakeside now comprises of 2 phases. One, you call it UMCity, which is phase 1, and the phase 2 is called Viridia Residences. UMCity Corporate Office will be the first premium office development to be launched in Medini. Now let's look at the scenario now. Now there are dearth and a shortage of office space. Now even to the extent, the Khazanah Group, which has set up another new company called the 12M Ventures, Sdn Bhd, has actually gone out into the market to ask MNCs to relocate their back of house. Now this is a cheaper cost. It has a lot of economic incentives, and it is very near to an urban center in Singapore. So which means to say you have the enjoyment of space, enjoyment of cost, at the same time in proximity to a very urban metropolis. So the advantage is so much that a lot of them are coming in and they don't have office space ready in 3 years' time. So this particular event, you find that Khazanah has now set up an enclave where they are building temporary office just to house them and says, you come in first. We house you while all these permanent buildings are being completed. And once it's completed, then you can move on. At the same time, many of them has originally bought their office space in readiness for the shift. Sunway has actually launched theirs about a few months ago, and they were fully sold out within 2 weeks. We are launching ours now. So don't wait. Huh? Okay, this is a view. You notice that we have a Viridia, we have a lakeside, and the lakeside will be with fountains, water features, and the lakeside will have lakeside restaurants. Lakeside will have an amphitheater where you have your cultural shows, your concerts, which will be outdoors. This is a view from the professional office space, the tower that we will be creating, and they will comprise of floor plates, where you can have a floor plate of about 12,000 to 15,000, and you can even have an office suite of about 1,002 square feet. You can choose your size, and the bike size, big size. And this is the lobby for the office tower that was intended. So basically, let us go through now. Why do you want to invest in UMCity Medini Lakeside? Firstly, it is because of Land. We are an established developer. We have been in this market for almost 20 years, and we are comprised of very big shareholders. We have been partners with UEM, we have been partners with many what you call established developers. You also have this development at the gateway of Medini. The moment you touch Medini, you see UMCity first. You have excellent connectivity within Iskandar, which means to say within 5 to 10 minutes, you're already in the second link. And the CIQ, once you crossed, you're already on the AYE. You have special Medini incentive schemes where you can enjoy all the tax benefits and your staff can enjoy the tax brackets as well as also the enjoyment of a free transport. No RPGT, all are international lots, no foreign minimum of 1 million, located 10 minutes only, and it's a place, the first phase, which is actually being launched now. Be the early birds, catch it while you can, and you will never regret. With that, thank you very much.